Alrighty, critters, time for a new gadget. This thing is pretty slick. This is kind of an all-in-one radio kind of deal. So, turn it on.
Bluetooth mode.
So it'll work as a Bluetooth speaker. You can connect your phone to this wirelessly. It also has a radio.
FM mode.
My ego is
Bluetooth mode.
So I can't leave that on for very long. Then you can also have a flashlight. A siren, which is not very effective. That's all it is. That's not very loud. It's basically playing a audio clip through the speaker. The speaker's actually pretty good. Micro USB charging in case the solar panel wasn't enough. Nice solar panel in the back of this. It's one of the things I like about it. It also has a little arm on the front so that you can tilt this like that to get you good exposure to the sunlight. That should also help with rain too. I don't know how watertight this is, but that will keep the water out. I would not suggest getting it wet because I don't see any waterproofing on this. Radio functionality is a scan and save type functionality. So when you go forward and backwards, you're going forward and backwards through saved channels. To generate saved channels, you press and hold the play button, and it will begin scanning the entire FM band and automatically saving any signals it finds. So it tends to find dead channels that just have a strong carrier, and it also tends to find bleed from existing channels. So if you're getting 99.5, it might also get 99.2 where you can hear a tiny bit of that channel. Not a big deal, very minor thing. It's a basic cheap radio. Works well. It picks up like 26 stations around here, and I live in rural New Mexico, so that's not bad. Now it also has 5-volt USB out, so that you can charge your phone from this, for example. And then it also has these output power ports. Then you have a power out option here. Now the way that works, I think that works without the radio as well. It comes with 2 of these little LED lights with some pretty generous long cables. So you plug these lights into here. I wish they'd give me the option to buy a third one because it has 3 plugs and I'd like to have 3 lights. So you plug your 2 little USB lights into that and hit the power out button and you get USB light. So during a power out scenario, so for example like the people on the East Coast are experiencing right now with that tropical storm, you could use this to play your smartphone audio, charge your smartphone, to give you light at night when you need it, radio, not bad, pretty cool. Now it also has a USB port, very, very useful, and it has a micro SD card slot, not very useful. For about $5 or $6, you can get a USB thumb drive. That's a little itty-bitty thumb drive where it barely sticks out of the port. That's what I advise you to buy. Throw your MP3s on there, pop that into there, and it automatically, so as long as the power is turned on, it automatically switches over to the memory card and starts playing your MP3s. Pretty darn cool, especially if you have a favorites playlist of music you like listening to, because you're not going to be able to sort through albums very effectively with this interface. It's just going to play everything on the card. Now, SD card, you're thinking, why not just leave a little SD card in there? Well, that's the problem, because that's the way it installs. Yep, you got that right. It stays sticking out like this. Within an hour, you're going to break that off. That's so gone. There's just no way that's going to survive. If you have a 3D printer, maybe you could design a little protective shroud to go around this area to protect that, but don't use a micro SD card. That's just asking for trouble. Manufacturer, that needs to go all the way in. It needs to be a proper click pop in SD card slot, because that's going to break off so fast. First time somebody knocks this over, bumps into it, whatever, that's going to break right off. So use the USB slot. You can get little USB thumb drives that are about this big. Okay. And you just pop that in there, and as you can see, even though it sticks out, it's a stout USB drive. It's not going to break, and it's far more durable and resilient than your micro SD card sticking halfway out of that slot is ever going to be. That's basically it. It also comes with a nice velvet bag. You can put everything in, which is nice. This is the kind of thing where you just leave it in the window, let it charge up from the sunlight. If you're in an actual power out scenario, you might want to actually go outside and set this up on a table, put it in the proper sunlight, get a good full charge on it. And I don't know what kind of battery's inside. I'm going to have to take it apart and see what's inside. Your antenna is on the top here. In fact, let me see how hard it is to get inside this thing. Alright, getting into this was actually pretty easy, so let me show you what the inside looks like. So, you have 7 screws on the back, no glue, it all pops off. There is enough length on this cable that you can remove the back without hurting anything. Then there is a clamp that goes down here that holds the battery in place, and that does look like 2 standard 18650 cells. So I would probably get rid of the clamp, get rid of the foam, and there should be enough room. Matter of fact, yes, there is enough room to put a 2-cell 18650 battery holder in here. Then all you gotta do is remove the screws and change out the batteries when they go bad. So this could last a very long time. And in fact, to the manufacturer who makes this, it would be nice if there was an actual battery cover right there on the front, so you could change the batteries. For example, you could keep a couple of solar charging 18650s outside that you could then bring in and swap out if you need more power than ones that can give you in an evening. That would make this a far more useful device. Overall, not bad. Here's your little silly emergency light thing. Here's your LED flashlight that's built in. That looks like the connections for the 4-volt ports on the front, SD card, Bluetooth antenna. Here's your primary speaker. Also, no headphone jack. You should put a headphone jack on here so if you can listen to more radio, more music without wasting power. Because the headphones would take a lot less power than a speaker, although probably not that much. It's only a 2-watt speaker, 3-watt speaker, yeah, 3 watts. So the speaker probably doesn't take that much power. It actually sounds pretty good, not bad. This is also pretty new. 5/18/2020. Wasn't that interesting? So everything is connected with wires, which is nice. That makes it serviceable, hackable, modifiable. Not bad. I mean, it's a simple design. It's not ultra advanced or complex, but those are usually the best. Because, you know, unlike an Apple device, there isn't a whole bunch of epoxy everywhere to keep you out. You can actually get into this and do stuff with it. And that's a pretty generous solar panel on there, too. I would not be surprised if that had no problem charging that battery all day. As long as you had good sunlight. But these are also pretty small bulbs, so they're not going to draw that much power. It's a nice little emergency unit. I'm definitely going to keep this in my kit. So there you have it. The Lukasa KS03 emergency radio. So flashlight, home lighting, phone charging, MP3 playing, Bluetooth speaker, and siren. That's kind of useless. All solar powered with 2 18650 battery cells inside that are user replaceable, meaning you're gonna have to desolder the connection and solder in a new connection, but that's not that difficult. I personally would get rid of that bar on top and put a 2-cell 18650 battery holder in there after you disassemble that pack to verify whether they're in parallel or series. And then, because you gotta wire yours the same way, it might very well be that that's in parallel to double the capacity. And then you can actually test that easily just by measuring the output voltage. If it's outputting, 3.5 to 4 volts, then it's in parallel. If it's outputting a little over 7 volts, then it's in series. And considering that these are 4-volt outputs, probably parallel, I think. I don't know. But not a bad unit. Pretty cool. I mean, and I love how actually compact it is. It's actually pretty small. In fact, something else I might do is if those batteries are in parallel, I might be able to fit a third one in there. Having 3 cells inside there would be even nicer. Or possibly even to wire up a jack on the side here so you can have a little bank of 18650s. So you can really get some runtime out of this bad boy. Imagine having 3 or 4 18650s on the outside and 3 on the inside. Well, now you got 6 or 7 18650. You can run this thing for days. All on solar power. That's pretty cool. So, yeah, there it is. Enjoy.